So there's going to be a second part to this. This is going to be kind of broken up because what we're doing is a big old Sunday news roundup while we're giving me a chance to drive the Ford Lightning. And I should say welcome to the channel, but I'm about to do that in the other intro, which comes next. What's it like, man? What's it like driving a Ford Lightning? Let's find out. I figure it'd be a worthy endeavor if only I could find one. Looks like I did. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla weekend. Oh, so here we go. Let's see. Okay, well, so the first concern I have is that normally you have a regular metal door, but apparently it's ajar. Okay, so as far as I can tell, we're doing it. Regen's nice and strong. I like that for one pedal driving. We are in one pedal mode. That is good. Now I will say, I haven't driven something quite this large in about a year. I rented a compact in Texas and they said, hey, do you want to upgrade all the way to a truck for more? I said, no. And they said, how about just two classes up for $6 more? I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll go to a nice sedan for $6 more. And then they said, and then I get there and like, yeah, we only have trucks. I don't want a truck. You get a truck. It's Texas, my friend, you get a truck. It was a Dodge, and it was a real piece of garbage. I looked up the price. It was like a $50,000, $60,000 chunk of garbage. It was terrible. I couldn't believe people paid money for this. So once we get moving, we're gonna try and do some lane keep and some Blue Cruise. How much does Blue Cruise cost?
When I bought it, it was free.
It was included with the Lightning.
Yeah. Well, I will find out in 2 years if maybe that changes to some other
to a subscription
annual quantity.
Yeah. Now, having driven a BMW, I have to ask, what is this flashing light? Is something broken?
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
I think it'll shut off eventually.
It's pointing to this side of the car.
It tells you which way to go.
Oh, yeah. See, BMW drivers, we don't need to be told which way to go.
Yeah.
We know where we're going.
I mean, technically, that's to tell of the other people which way you're intending to go.
Why would I want to communicate with people who aren't driving BMWs? Holy smokes! Oh! You know, you told me, but I wasn't prepared. I was not prepared.
I was not prepared.
And that was not even given at all.
That was not the full beans?
No, Kyle, that was not the full beans. He's fun. I really like him.
He is fun.
I've been on his podcast a couple times. It's... Oh. Okay, we're going to give it a little juice here. Oh, that pulls. Whoa. That's nice.
Yeah, I get a nice EV grin. Every time.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
it
fun.
kicks you right in the limbic system, I think.
That was one complaint that the reviews had on the VinFast, was that getting the blinker to turn on and stay on was hard, but getting it to turn back off again was harder.
How's that?
Yeah, there was a number of issues. The complaints I was getting on my VinFast video went way down after all the reviews started coming out. Conversely, the complaints I got on my Lucid video only went up after their dreadfully disappointing delivery numbers. I feel bad for the Lucid faithful. They've been absolutely hoodwinked, bamboozled. So driving impressions, I could have told you this before when I was a passenger this morning. Oh, it still pulls. That's great. I could have told you this from having ridden in this before, but it is like a truck, but quieter. The road noise is good. The mirrors are not super noisy. and there's a limit to what you can do until we get cameras, which we can talk about in a minute too. It's not bouncy like a lot of trucks can be, especially on the highway without a load. It feels as responsive as I would expect any regular truck to be. I think I'd want more responsiveness out of like, what were those? Ram had their RT pickup and
T-Rex.
Yeah, and Ford had their version.
Raptor.
I think it was, where it was just a truck-shaped hot rod. Yeah, I would expect more from those, but from a truck this big with this many doors and seats, this is what I expected. Yeah. Cruise control, what am I doing?
So the left-hand cluster of buttons, the very
Yes.
left-hand side enables the cruise control. Your cruise control is enabled,
And it'll tell me.
and set it with the top in the center row. We'll set the speed.
Okay.
Actually, maybe we turn it off. Hit the button when we're there. Now we're on, and you're set at 66. If you lift,
There we go.
okay, and
And it says I'm in
Blue
hands-free.
Cruise. Yep, you're
I'm on
hands-free.
Blue Cruise.
Hands-free.
All I have to do is pay attention. No hands, no feet. And no shoes, and no service, and no shirt. So that's,
But socks. Yes.
yes, I am wearing butt socks. That's true.
Yes.
That's true. You know what? I'm going to speed up because I think the speed limit is 70 here.
If you do a long hold, it will increment by 5 miles an hour.
Yeah. So and if I catch up to this guy, it's not going to rear end him. It's just going to follow him.
We'll find out.
Let's find out. I'll just hover over the brake pedal and watch for it to tell. Now, do I have eye monitoring?
You do.
Where is it? Here?
Yes, that is one
okay.
of them. There's another one in the A pillar. See that?
Is it?
The red lens, even with the mirror.
Oh, all the way down there, yeah. Good. I gotta say, I prefer that over wheel nags. Traveling Mo wanted to know, whatever happened with replacing mirrors with cameras? Wasn't that something NHTSA was looking into? And I haven't heard anything, so I looked it up. And what I found was there was a really comprehensive study they commissioned and conducted that was published in 2012 that showed
What did it show?
that they're better. They perform better at night because they can enhance. They have a wider field of view because physics, and the recommendation generally was these should be allowed. Europe has already started using them. So in 2012, in 2021 or 22, I think, 1 or 2, they opened it to public comment saying what does the public think? What do you guys think? And they accepted comments, and that's where we are. That's it. So it took 10 years from study to public comment, so maybe 2022 we'll hear an answer. I do not know.
2032?
Oh, sorry, 2032. Yeah, I think is when we might hear an answer. They're already legal in Europe. They've already been introduced by some car makers. And there is going to be an added cost to put a screen here or here, and an added cost to the camera. And you're only gaining like 3% efficiency, which over the life of a vehicle it's not that many dollars, especially on an EV. But the real savings is getting rid of that wind noise, because you don't realize just how noisy a side mirror is. So that's that answer, yeah. Okay.
Still live?
Still live. I am quite pleased with this so far. Now, I don't know, I'll just explain this now in case we don't get a chance to actually experience it. when it wants to disengage, we remember early reports from Sandy Munro saying it just kicks you out and you don't know. That's not the case today. On the way down, we tested it. It'll say, hey, you need to take the wheel.
Visually,
it'll say, please take over, come on. And if you don't, it'll give you a gentle chime. If you don't take over within a certain number of seconds, the chime gets more aggressive. If you still don't take over, it brake checks you to like give you a whole body reminder.
Twice.
And then it'll do it again. And if you still haven't taken control, it'll begin the process of stopping. Because if those brake checks didn't get your attention, you might be having a medical emergency, and maybe cruising down the road isn't the best place for you to be at the moment. Other times it would just say, hey, hands, this curve is too sharp, please take the wheel. And then it would calm down and say, you know what, actually, it wasn't that bad, I got it. Now, mind you, it's not as eloquent as I am, but that will surely be coming via over-the-air update, where it's literally me going, nah, it's cool, bro. Never mind.
I got it.
I got this one. It's me.
Sorry, freaked out for a minute.
I'm good, bro.
It's okay.
That would be terrible. I think Ford should definitely do that. I think I'm gonna. If I put on a blinker, does it change lanes?
No, it will not change lanes.
Okay, but it'll let me change lanes.
Yes, if you put on a blinker, it won't think that you're departing your lane inadvertently.
Okay, and now it says hands-free again. It sees the lane, it resumes.
Yep, as near as I can tell, the only difference between the lane keeping hands-on and the completely hands-free Blue Cruise is the mapping, and it decides which mode of the two that it wants to be in. And the only difference is that it nags you in one of them,
yeah,
but not in the hands-free Blue Cruise.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of big news that came out yesterday you may have missed. All of you may have missed. Did you know that the semi-truck that we have seen and know and love can't realistically be sold in Europe? The wheelbase is too long.
Yeah.
It's too long.
I think I had heard that.
They have snub noses and they're just shorter.
Yes.
It's their road rules. Drone footage at Giga Nevada, published Friday on Twitter, showed a short wheelbase version. There's a short wheelbase version of the semi, which means the only market left that they would not be able to enter is Australia, because they're 2 or 3 inches too wide, which is part of an antiquated rule that was made to protect local semi-truck manufacturers who were slightly narrower.
I was not aware of that.
And they don't exist anymore.
Well, they have road trains there, don't they have road trains?
Yes, they do. Those monstrous beasts. They don't generally go over 3 trailers or 4. And even in Oregon, you'll see 3 trailers. But
pretty rare.
It's rare.
Yeah.
Because they can't leave the state. But I've seen some pictures of some pretty concerningly long road trains, especially when you see that their interstate highways do not look like our interstate highways. They look like country roads, some of them. Mm-hmm. So it's because of the drop bears. Got to watch out for them. Oh, keep hands on steering wheel, because we're entering a curve. Now, I'm not actually doing anything, but my hands are on the wheels, and there we go, back to hands-free. That's not unreasonable.
Yeah. I usually just hover on the left side.
Yeah.
When it asks for...
I could even just
when it gives
treat it like a Tesla and just rest my hands here. This is so not stressful. This is so much better. Ugh. You know, there are people who will not drive on the highway. My sister will not drive on the highway. My wife will not drive on the highway. I've gotten her to a few times in the middle of Montana, in the middle of nowhere. because there's no easier drive than that. But she's not super jazzed about it. And she hasn't done it probably 10 years, longer than 10 years. 12. Anyway, too long. This would make road tripping so much better. And for any limitations this has in terms of city driving, I would argue it's probably offset by the highway driving, by how good this is. Because this is competent. It's, competent. So in Australia, they said you couldn't go over a certain width. We're still talking about the semi. You couldn't go over a certain width. They're looking to just change that rule because it's made it very hard to import semis. So just that simple rule change would open up Australia, which is one of the few markets in which Tesla can't sell it. The only other one I can think of off the top of my head would be North Korea. A lot of people on road trips are still saying, I have to bomb through to my destination. I have to get there in 6 hour, whatever. I'm going to do 600 miles in one shot. I only stop for gas. I poo in bottles. That's why they have threads. That's why they're threaded. So you can form a clean gasket.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Didn't need to go there.
Well, not in one shot.
Okay.
So the difference to remember with charging is you plug it in and you walk away. With gas, you do have to stand there. That's inconvenient. Those are minutes lost. You need to go in and use the bathroom. You really should stretch your legs. So, I hit the drive-through and get my lunch and go. So you can go to the bathroom and get through a drive-through in less than 20 minutes? Boy, that's pushing it. Gas up, use the bathroom, and sit in the drive-through line in less than 20 minutes. I struggle to believe that. And what a worse experience. Just eat your fries, man. I road tripped from San Francisco to LA, from Austin to Brownsville and back. It's wonderful. And the supercharging network is great. You can see all your chargers, and it tells you on your phone. By the way, you could leave now if you want and get to your destination, or you wait another 8 minutes and be at 80%. The information's great. Road tripping, very comfortable. So we are driving, for those curious, from Vancouver, Washington, just across the river from Portland, 50 miles-ish back to my place. Have to put some cuts in here so you don't know where I live. It'd be pretty easy to figure out. But I have had 0 interventions. I've had one time it asked me to touch the wheel. And I think it was because it's lonely.
I think there was a bridge, wasn't there? I think the bridge scared it, maybe.
No, it was the curve.
Oh, it
was a curve. What else is in the news? Well, so you guys probably know this. Yeah, I guess I'll run this Sunday morning. Happy Sunday morning, everybody. Yeah. As you probably know, the first Cybertruck rolled off the line. I was going to mention this to you. A guy on Twitter said, oh, good. They managed to build one bespoke hand-built Cybertruck. Surely, it's like...
No.
No,
when they take a picture of the crew, no.
Right. We've seen the hand-built ones. We've seen the bespoke ones.
Yeah.
We've seen... I'm going to guess we've seen probably... How many would you guess there are before this one?
A dozen,
That's my guess. It's about a dozen. Well, we know they crashed more than one. My guess would be 4. We're in another curve. Here, show the curve.
Yeah.
It's still hands-free. It's not even asking me for nothing. We are also showing the road still.
Oh, okay.
There's no yo-yo. There's no ping-ponging. That's what it was. I was hoping we'd be able to give the audience a ping pong show, you and me. But
I mean, if you manually push us over to one of the edges, maybe you can induce a ping pong?
I tell you, if you want a ping pong show out of me, you will definitely push me to the edge. So, so that's a thing.
If you want it to be.
for the right price. I'm sure there are places where that's not as difficult to find.
You have to go way back in the annals of the other channel to catch the reference.
Yes, in the annals of the other channel, indeed. So, I would agree. 12 is probably about the right number, a dozen-ish. I'd say they crashed at least 3 or 4. We know there have been times when we've seen as many as 3 of them in one place together. Yeah. We know there was at least 1 or 2 completely hand-built early prototypes.
Did they have at least 2 on the launch day for the trips, for the drives, the ride?
I don't.
Or was it just a single one?
I think it was just a single. one.
Because they had to delay the rides for a little while to replace.
They were very quick with the glass.
A particular, yeah.
They were
component.
very. I mean, they just literally ran to the back, got the parts, ran to the. I mean, that was fast.
Okay.
But it was a delay. He did that on purpose for marketing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, I think inadvertently it ended up to be the best marketing.
It accidentally
was. It accidentally was genius.
But when I screw up, no one says that about me. This is the beginning of it. And by the way, if you, I guess I have to put it on screen. I hate having to give myself homework, but there's that fun little bit of information I was able to ascertain. I may have been told this, or may have just figured it out. But when you look at the factory, there we go, there's my graphic. Michigan. Forget this part of Michigan, it's not there. In the factory, you got, stamping down here, you've got casting up here, you've got the big Southwest Prairie, I called it, where the Cybertruck is being built. And if you look where it gets all the way up to the top edge, it gets very close to the paint shop. Well, they just cut a little hole there, so the trucks divert into the paint shop. They divert into the paint shop to paint the stamped components, and they can paint any part of the underbody. They're not worried about overspray, but they paint it. Because they're not painting doors and other pieces, they don't have to tag them and track them and keep them all together. So it just dips into the little corner of the paint shop, pops right back out, back on the line. And I know last week they were doing dry runs through it, testing the skateboards and all that, making sure all of it worked. The paint arms are moving but not actually spraying because they didn't yet have enough bodies to do wet rehearsals. So that is good design. It manages to get that part of the factory. See, that's a noisy truck. What are you doing? Hey, coal roller, you wanna race? Embarrassing. So the Cybertruck is in production. The people who said we will not see it this year are wrong. I would say the odds, as of what we know today, early July, mid-July, the odds of 0 deliveries to anyone, including employees, is approaching 0. I'd say the odds of deliveries to customers in 2023 is real high. I'd say well over 50%. What do you think?
So I got a res below 8,000, so I'm hoping that they'll be able to push out 8,000 this year. That's what I'm shooting for, because I want a truck for Christmas.
Well, have you been good this year?
I've been trying. Yeah.
Well, I've been
Does
trying.
that count?
In my case, I'll ask that smart-ass judge, but I don't think he agrees with any of my motions so far. Certainly not dismissal. Longtime viewers of the channel will know my thing is I love to volunteer at food banks. When I was a kid, we had periods of food insecurity. And as an adult, I've had a couple periods of food insecurity. Oh, it's doing, oh.
No, that's the lane departure.
Oh, that was the lane departure.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's lane departure.
It's still lane departure.
Lane departure.
Well.
Yeah.
And apparently that makes me a weirdo because I do not, I'm not there by court order. And when you're there enough, people will ask you, people who are there on court order will ask you, what'd you do? What? Why are you here? Oh, and I always tell them, so much stuff. They haven't caught me yet. I'm just practicing. Yeah. I figured I might as well just do it now. I don't need a judge to tell me to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But you know.
It's a good one.
Yeah, that joke gets a lot of mileage because as soon as their hours are done, they're gone and someone else comes in. And actually, where I live now, we don't get very many of those, very, very few. What we mostly get is students who have community hours to do for graduation. So now I should ask, why, last time I was driving a truck like this, what I did to give it a real good workout was, boy, I felt it pushing back before I put on the blinker. I went to change lanes, and it was like, I don't want you
sure you want to do that?
I don't want you to do that. I don't like the way this feels, Brian.
Have you asked me if you're going to change lanes?
Lane changes require consent,
Yes.
communication,
Yes,
okay?
Tell us about your intentions here.
Yeah. So what I did to really stress test the vehicle was I applied pedal 3 and then just drove. And it smells really hot and like brakey. And you get really bad mileage. Now we're doing the wrap up. Okay. So what did we think? What did I think of the Ford Enlightening?
What did you think?
I was way more impressed than I expected. I had a chance to do.
Yeah, I think it does that.
It does that. I had a chance to ride in one at the LA Auto Show last year. But it's a very short course. It's inside.
It's very quick though.
And that's the thing is, you got two choices. You could do the gas one and do the hill climb, which looked like fun, but I'm not here for that.
Yeah.
Or you can do the electric one and do your little
The
hot launch.
8th mile quick launch. Yeah.
And I would argue that this just driving was way more impressive, and I'll tell you why. I think the floor is too slippery in the convention center.
Yeah, that probably is a big factor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a slick. I mean, think of.
It's hard to get much grab there.
Yeah, it still was very impressive, but I just feel this was a lot more impressive. And on that one, you had to immediately get hard on the brakes because you're out of convention center.
There's a very hard object at the end, yeah? Concrete wall?
No, a bunch of people. It was great.
People?
No. It was cones and cross traffic from the rest of the trucks. So the handling was good. The acceleration was great. This is the extended range battery, so you've got the maximum performance.
131 kilowatt hours, and yes, it is slightly quicker than the standard range battery, I'm told.
I think it would stand to reason, but not by a vast margin. And let's see, the Blue Cruise was great. It worked fine. It had the features that I liked more than Tesla's nav. It had features I liked less, like it freaking out at subtle turns in the road, but it didn't freak out in critical ways, and it never disengaged for me, which is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, in summary, I'd say thanks for watching the news, because that's really at the end of the day, what this show is all about. So yeah, do you have any thoughts? What did I miss? Normally I ask all of you what I missed or misunderstood. I'll just ask Ryan directly because he's here.
So if you look up here or here, I have a commute with full commentary of the Blue Cruise.
It's right up above. It's right here where I'm pointing.
Okay.
So it's yeah. I'll put that.
And
a full video of what?
of me commuting 40 miles with the Blue Cruise the first couple weeks that I had it.
That's right.
Calling out when it nagged me. Nag, nag, nag. Oh, Blue Cruise. Nag, nag.
Is the video 40 hours long?
40 miles long at 60 miles an hour.
That's more reasonable.
40 minutes. It's more reasonable.
More reasonable.
There's a pair of them.
Uh-huh.
I've got a month worth of like sped up time lapse also. That's super entertaining.
Uh-huh.
No one should have probably ever watched my channel, but
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah, because don't worry, I won't put the link in the description or put this graphic right here. Ryan, thanks for letting me drive your truck, man.
Anytime.
Oh, so yeah,
Well.
well then just leave it.
Okay.
And here's the keys to my car.
Yeah?
It has keys. All right, what did we miss? What did we miss? And leave it in them comments below. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and stay tuned, stay juicy. Can't wait to hear from you clever robots. Maybe I don't know, in a couple hours at the Oregon Service Center, where I will be speaking to a group of Tesla owners for their club.
That'd be fun.